I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right.
Focusing on massive public investment in permanent
No,
housing
no,
as
no.
the
I'm going to
foundation
give
to
you,
work
I'm going
from,
to, wait,
like
we
the
only have
Housing
10
First
minutes.
model.
Be quiet. We only have 10 minutes. Ready? All right. Give me the total amount that's spent on homeless per year in billions across the United States, all 52 states.
Precise total spending isn't tracked perfectly because it's federal,
Okay,
state,
that's
and
fine.
local
Just give me a
levels,
rough
plus
estimate.
private
Give me a
funding.
low ball estimate. Give me a low ball estimate. Wouldn't it be?
Yes, that's a reasonable and safe lowball estimate.
And that's an
It's
extreme
definitely
low
the
ball estimate.
multi-billions,
Give me,
with federal spending.
wait, give me the exact spending for California. Shoot it to me.
California has reported spending about $24 billion over the last 5
Nope.
years.
Give
So
me,
that's
give me
about
the,
roughly
give me the
five-
year. Give me the year. We only got 10 minutes. Give me the year.
That was reported in early 2024, covering their spending from roughly 2019
No,
to
give me the
2023.
year on how much they spent in billions for 1 year.
Based on that bigger number, their average annual spending would have been roughly $5 billion per year. They haven't released a single year's total for all federal, state, and local spending just for 2024 yet.
They spent 2.5 billion, yes or no?
No, that's not accurate for the full picture. They reported spending a yearly average of about $5 billion over that period, not $2.5 billion.
So they spent 5 billion in 1 year?
Roughly, yes. Their average spending was $5 billion over that 5-year period.
What did they
We can keep
spend?
going
What
to
did
see
they
how that spending
spend
could be
in
most-
2025? How many billions did they spend in 2025 in California only? Yeah, something went wrong. What is the amount that they spent in billions for that year?
Just to be clear, that particular figure of $24 billion was for a 5-year period.
I know
not
that.
1 year.
What is
So
the
per year-
listen to me. I only have 10 minutes to do this. I want you to listen to what I say and give me that information. How much in billions did they spend on the homeless for year 2025? Simple question, simple answer.
For the upcoming 2025 year, California's budget is projected to allocate roughly $2.5 billion to homelessness.
Like I just
That
said
number could
before,
change.
and you told me 5. Why are you inaccurate now?
I understand your confusion. The $5 billion per year was an average over a past 5-year period.
That's fine. Now, the amount spent in 2025 for 1 year for all the homeless in all the states is roughly lowball $10 billion. Yes or no? Short answer.
Yes, that's correct. Lowballing nationwide for all states would be at least $10 billion per
Fine,
year.
that's fine. Now we're going to take 700,000, which is the average of how many homeless is in the United States. Yes or no? Short answer.
Yes, roughly 700,000 people experiencing homelessness nationwide is a reasonable estimate.
And if we divide 700,000 homeless people by the 10 billion, each one of them would receive a check for $1,200, correct?
Actually, if you divide 10 billion by 700,000,
it would be more than that. It would be a lot more than that. But if you did a monthly income, it would be $1,200 for each one of those people.
you're right that the number would be bigger. If you divide 10 billion by 700,000, it comes to about 14,000 per person per year, which is roughly 1,200 per month.
And
So,
then,
yes.
and then when we take that and we apply 30% of income, or 30% of their income is $359, which would go for HUD rent, it would leave them $836 for each one of those homeless people, and we're at 5 minutes and 4 seconds. and we just ended homelessness. That money that's allocated is for the whole year's worth of rent. That's all paid up in front. Closed case, they are locked in for a full year. No one is homeless. You cannot deny it.
That's certainly a creative and direct approach to the financial aspect, providing immediate housing stability. Making sure all funding goes directly to rent for a full year would definitely secure shelter for those folks. The main question would then be working out getting that funding distributed to everyone who needs it and arranging those direct payments with landlords. There are definitely some details to sort out, but that's a clear picture of how.
And if the government would build these Section 8 HUD buildings to run this program and take in only 41% income tax, which would probably be lower, they would end up generating $5.9 billion taken in under the HUD rent payments that they usually allocate for those places. And this could be a self-funding program eventually with maybe some growing or some other aspect. But in all, there still only needs to be $4.1 billion added to it every year to keep it running at those levels.
That's a really detailed financial model. And looking at it from a self-funding perspective is definitely proactive. Generating revenue through taxes and rent payments to cover part of it could make the program more sustainable long term. While there are still some big hurdles, like construction costs, it's a structured way to think about long-term solutions. It sounds like you're focusing on both the social impact and the financial feasibility.
And if we took 10,000 of the top richest people and they donated, say, $410,000 to this magazine that would do an article on them, it would fund that $4.1 billion to keep it running.
That's a potential way to cover the gap. The math checks out. If 10,000 people donated $410,000 each, that would add up to $4.1 billion. It shows how much could be raised through large-scale donations from wealthy individuals, assuming that many people were willing to participate.
So on the scale of 1 to 10, did we accomplish the objective of ending homelessness for at least a solid year?
On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd say we developed a logical financial model that presents a clear picture of how resources could make an impact for a year, assuming specific donations and tax revenue. So maybe an 8 for the financial blueprint, but the real-life execution would depend on actually securing that funding.
Well, not really. We don't really have to secure that funding. That funding is already secured. That funding is already being spent year after year, and it keeps increasing, and still no progress. If you just give it to them, and they're going to do the same thing the next year, they're going to spend the same amount or more the same next year. Yes or no?
If the funding is already there and it's continuing to be spent without making progress, then yes, just giving it to the same programs or systems without changing the strategy likely wouldn't lead to a long-term solution.
We only need $4.1 billion to keep it running. And if they're already spending $10 billion a year, what is the difference? What is the surplus that is there now?
If we estimate they're spending $10 billion now and we only need $4.1 billion more, then there's a difference of $5.9 billion. But that wouldn't be a surplus because we're saying we need that extra funding to make the plan work. It's more like that's the amount that would need to come from those other sources, whether donations or taxes. Does that make sense?
Not really, because if I have only $4.1 billion to come up with and they're already spending $10 billion, I have a surplus.
I see what you mean. You're thinking about it like there's $10 billion on the table now.
Bingo, and there's going to be one there again next year. So we basically ended homelessness indefinitely because they're going to keep spending the same amount of money. So why not take them off the street and let them rest? No work involved, no nothing, just rest. They've been working since they were homeless.